see you. Slava Ukraini! Thank you to the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress for organizing this vigil here in Toronto. It is incredible to see and to know that vigils like this are being held in towns and cities across Canada. This is a night to celebrate Ukraine. To celebrate that we are all still standing. And that Canada continues to stand with Ukraine. Canada's and Canadian support for Ukraine is truly inspiring. I want to thank you, Father Bowden Choli, for your prayer, and of course to the Babinok Dance Ensemble for your performance. Canada has a strong Ukrainian-Canadian community dating back more than a century. Today, Canada is home to the second largest diaspora community in the world, and we all benefit from your hard work, your rich freedom, and your steadfast support in Ukraine's fight to freedom.
Трюдо.
I am so grateful to be part of tonight's event. Je suis tellement heureux d'être accompagné d'amis et de collègues de plusieurs ordres de gouvernement, particulièrement le Premier ministre Ford qui s'en vient, ainsi que les dirigeants de la communauté ukrainienne du Canada. I'm happy to be surrounded by so many great Liberal members of Parliament standing with Ukraine. A year ago today, Ukrainians woke up to the horror of war in their... Hey, sir, I think Ukrainians can tell you a little bit about freedom and liberty, so why don't you settle down? This is a night for them, not for you. This is a night for Ukrainians, not for you. If you want to stand and choose Ukraine, do that. You want to wave that Ukrainian flag, please do. But let people celebrate that Ukraine is still standing and Canada stands with it. A year ago today, Ukrainians woke up to the horrors of war in their country. Shortly before dawn, on February 24th, 2022, while they slept, Putin fired a barrage of missiles at cities across Ukraine, and Russian forces illegally invaded sovereign territory. Il y a un an aujourd'hui, une nouvelle guerre a éclaté en Europe, atteignant une ampleur jamais vue depuis la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. Un dictateur a envahi un pays voisin, a tenté d'annexer un territoire que ses soldats ont saisi par la force et a commencé à bombarder de façon inconsidérée des immeubles d'habitation et des hôpitaux. A year ago today, tens of thousands of Ukrainian soldiers and civilians we have lost were still alive. And 20% of the population hadn't had to flee to safety. This morning, I visited St. Demetrius, a school in Etobicoke. You know it well. It's the heart of the community. 151 Ukrainian refugee children go to classes there now. And since last year, more than 167,000 Ukrainian citizens have come to Canada seeking safety under our special immigration measures and have been so warmly welcomed by all Canadians. Les Canadiens accueillent les Ukrainiens à bras ouverts parce que c'est dans notre nature de le faire. C'est ce qu'on a fait lorsque des réfugiés syriens ont dû quitter leur pays à cause de la guerre. Et lorsque des réfugiés afghans cherchaient un endroit sûr où vivre. Les Canadiens font preuve de la même générosité d'esprit aujourd'hui. At St. Demetrius, students and teachers have collected books, clothes, Torah trees, grocery items and gift cards to give to new families. They were running another donation drive this morning. This sort of thing is happening at schools, community centers, church basements, places of worship, and and libraries across the country. And it's just one more example among so many of Canada's support for Ukraine. But we know that supporting and welcoming refugees is not enough. These children and their parents didn't want to leave Ukraine. They love their country and will always love their country. Alors comme eux, on est horrifié par la violence et la brutalité persistante de la guerre que mène le président Poutine. Lors de ma visite en Ukraine l'année dernière, j'ai vu de mes propres yeux la dévastation causée par cette guerre. Des quartiers qui ressemblaient beaucoup à ce que l'on voit ici à Toronto avaient été complètement détruits. Et face à tout cela, les Ukrainiens ont refusé de se faire aider. We are all inspired by the tenacity of those who stayed behind. Canada continues to support those on the front lines. Through Operation Unifier, the Canadian Armed Forces have trained over 35,000 members of the Ukrainian security forces. Since Russia's invasion, we have provided significant military support, including artillery, ammunition, armor, and tanks, and more. Earlier today, I announced a new round of military support, including 4 more Leopard tanks and Mr. Putin, we will stand with Ukraine as long as it takes, as much as it takes. We also announced new sanctions and punitive economic measures to help continue to deplete the Kremlin's war chest. When Vladimir Putin launched his war of aggression, he thought it'd be over in a few days. But he underestimated the courage and strength of Ukrainians. He underestimated the determination of those among us in the West and around the world who stand with Ukraine and who will stay with Ukraine as long as it takes. Over the past year, I spoke regularly with President Zelensky. I spoke with him again just this morning, and he sends his love and his thanks to all Canadians who stand with Ukraine. I am consistently taken by his courage and his resilience. He has stared down Putin's threats since before the invasion. He has rallied support from around the world. He has given hope to his people. He has become a champion of democracy for the whole world, as have all Ukrainians. You have stood up to a ferocious defense as Ukrainians against Putin's ruthless aggression. In Ukraine, you have beaten back Russian advances time and time again. You have proven that victory is the only option. A year ago today, the blue and yellow flag represented the iconic Ukrainian landscape of clear skies and wheat fields. Now, missiles pierce that sky and craters mark those fields. But thanks to the courage and strength of Ukrainians, the flag still flies in Kyiv, in Kharkiv, in Kherson. And it is so great to see you waving it in solidarity here tonight and across Canada. Because here in Canada, we believe in a free and sovereign democracy. We stand up to bullies, and we will stand with Ukraine with everything it takes for as long as it takes until we see peace return to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!